um, created a new dictionary. We had also learned how to insert an item in terms of key value pair to the dictionary, and we had come to know how to use dictionaries as set of counters. And of course, we have written a program, a small piece of code to calculate or to compute histogram of words. Basically, histogram is a statistical term used to count or used to compute the number of times or number of appearances or frequencies. We have used for loops, and we also try to find an alternate to if else loop. What do you call for that? Using get method. What do you say if I try to remove if else loop from the counter and replace it by get method in dictionary? Guys, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
So what do you call for that method or the technique where you remove if else condition from the counter and use get method in dictionary? We call it as idioms, right? You remember?
We had not been taught about that.
Or in the last class we have discussed about get method, no?
Yes, sir.
And yeah, 1 second, just let me open that classwork notebook so that what we have done in our previous class, it is taking some time. Okay guys, just let me know what is visible on your screen.
My classwork module 3.
So I have my class of module 3, and yeah, here in this situation, in this program, 1 second. Yeah, here. So are we familiar with this program?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so here I am using dictionary as a count of counters where I use this if loop. Here I use this if loop in order to count the number of characters inside a given string and update the dictionary. If it is present, I will update it with +1. I will increment it by +1. Otherwise, I'll add it as a new key value pair elements inside your empty dictionary. Now, if I try to replace this if else, so I use get method. So here a method called get. So what does this get method will do? Get method will simply fetch the value of a particular key used inside as an argument. Otherwise, it is simply 0. Suppose if I declare a dictionary as counters is equal to some names along with some values here, and if I say counts dot get, this is how I use the get function. Counts dot get of Jan comma 0 gives me the value of that key which has been used inside the get function. Whereas if I say, if I'm trying to call some other name which is not present inside your existing dictionary, so what is the value? The value would be 0. So here understand, the value would be 0. Default value will be 0. So this 0 after this variable would give you the value of the key inside this dictionary. Here name is not present inside this dictionary, so it is giving me as 0. Whereas if I call Jan, if I say Jan, then I would get 100 because I have a value for Jan inside an existing dictionary, that is Jan, as 100. Likewise, I could use this dot get method here, which replaces my if else condition in my previous program. See, this is a simple program which gives you the same result as this program. This is the program which gives you the same result of counting the number of characters, how many times a character is appearing. Histogram of characters. So I am going to remove this if else loop and I am going to replace it by get method. And removing this if else loop and replacing it by get method is known as idioms. So here let me mention it. Replacing if else loop in counter by get method, okay, by get method is known as idioms. Okay, remember this term. So I am replacing this if else loop in counters by using get method. I call it as idioms. Okay. So now today, in today's class, we are going to um, look about the dictionary and files. As I've said earlier, suppose if you have a file, the most common use of a dictionary always will be used to count the occurrences of characters in a string or sometimes words in a file. Okay, most of the times, in fact, you're trying to look for how many times a particular word has appeared in a text file. So let us say I'm trying to read a text file and I want to understand how many times a particular word has repeated. I want to create a dictionary of histogram of words in a given text file. Okay, so I will ask user initially. Okay, I'll prompt user to enter the file name. So once user has entered the file name which is present in the directory, okay, it will be opened. Correct? Guys, are you following?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I will use this open function, open of fname. What if the file name is not present inside the current directory? I have a current directory. Let me just try to show you the current directory. Okay, it is not visible here. Is it visible, guys? Current directory?
No, sir.
1 second. Okay, let me share the different window then. Okay, how about now? Is it visible, the current directory?
Yes, sir.
So can you identify the text called Romeo.txt?
No, sir.
Yes,
Romeo
sir.
full
Yes, sir.
Romeo full text. Okay, fine. So now I have classwork module 3. Is it visible? Classwork module 3 is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Yes,
now
sir.
let me just display the text inside that Romeo.txt file. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
So I have this
Yes, sir.
characters inside the Romeo.txt. It's a 2 line. Okay. So now what I'll do, I'll prompt user to enter the file name romeo.txt. What if user enters a wrong file name? So I need to use an exception here. I will use try and except function technique here. Say if user enters a correct file name, so it will be loaded to the variable called fhand. Otherwise it will say if this is false, then user will get a notification saying file cannot be opened along with the file name which has been entered by the user, and it will simply exit. If assuming that if the user has given the proper file name, so what I'll do, I will create an empty dictionary. Count is equal to using a function dictionary dict, and then the first thing is I'm going to iterate through the lines. So I'll use a for loop here for line in fhand. So what is line in fhand? Line in fhand is individual lines, correct? Line is individual line in a romeo.txt file. So now I have an individual lines been read here. See, you could see print line now. So print line is, I'll enter the text file name. Okay, now you could see I have printed the line. I have a space here. Can you see that I have a space between second and third line? Correct. I have a space between second and third line. This has to be taken care while I counting the number of words here inside this particular text file. So line in fn is each line during each iteration, individual line during each iteration. Now I will use words is equal to line dot split. So what happens if I use words is equal to line dot split? It will split the line into individual words. So just check what has happened with respect to words. I will give Romeo dot text. Can you see here? So each line would become what? The
Sir,
word,
please
the
zoom
list of
out a
words.
bit.
You want to zoom it? It's
Zoom
already
out.
done. Okay. Hope this is fine.
Sir, it's not reflected yet. Your screen has a lag.
Yeah, because due to bad weather conditions, no, there is some delay in the.
Yeah, this is fine, sir.
Okay, fine. So here you could see words is equal to line dot split. I have used line dot split in each iteration. On each line, I'm going to generate the list of words. Can you see here the list of words of each line? The list of words of each line, but I have another dictionary with blank. So this is because due to that line, that empty line which was there. Okay, so that we will take care. No worry. So I'll just remove this print words. This is for the sake of understanding. I'm just using the print word statement. Now I will use for word in words, and I will be counting. Okay, I will be embedding the program which I have created to count the number of characters in a string. Okay, Hope you understood this part of program. So for word in words, in each of the iteration, right, I have a list of words which has been generated. So I will count for word in words. Okay, if word not in counts, what is counts here? Counts is an empty dictionary, right? So let me create an empty dictionary first. I did not create empty dictionary, right? So let me create empty dictionary. Yeah, here you have an empty dictionary here. Counts is equal to dict of, and if word not in counts, so obviously there is no word. The first word which has been read, okay, that will be given to this dictionary as a key value pair of the first word along with the value 1. Else counts of word plus is equal to 1. And I'll simply increment the, if it's already present, I will simply increment it by a value 1. So now I will say print counts. Print counts. I'll give romeo.txt. Okay. So these are the words and its appearances in the text. So these are the words along with its appearances, which has been arranged as a key value pair. I call this as histogram of words in a given text file. I repeat, I created an empty dictionary called counts, correct? For line in fn, so this is the first line. I'm going to convert each line into list of words. Okay, line to list of words, and here now I'm trying to go with each word. Okay, here it iterates inside the list. So this iterates inside the list. In this situation, if a word is present in, if word is not present, correct? If word is not present in the list, what it will do, it will create. If it is already present, if present, so what does it do? It increments. It increments the value. Can I use a get condition instead of if else loop?
Yes, sir.
So I can use get condition instead of if else loop, that you can do it later. Now we shall try to understand looping and dictionaries. I already have used here for loop, so you're already aware how to loop with respect to the line and loop with respect to the list, but I have not explained how to loop with respect to dictionary. Okay, let us try to understand looping with respect to dictionary. I can loop with respect to dictionary how? So I have created a dictionary with some names. How to loop inside the dictionary? I can create a for loop for key. I can use a keyword called key in counts. Counts is a dictionary for key in counts. What do you mean by key in counts now? Key in counts would become the keys of this dictionary. Just say print key, you will get what? You would get all the keys of the dictionary. So you can directly use key as a iterative variable. In fact, it's a keyword also. Key as an iterative variable which iterates through all this key of keys of a dictionary. Okay. Now if I want to say, if I want to fetch the value, I'll just simply replace this print by counts of key, right? Counts of key. Sorry, this is an index, right? So I have to use counts of key. I can say key, counts of key, right? key comma counts of key will print the key that is a variable as well as counts of that variable. That means counts of that key would be directing towards these values 1, 42 and 100. So now I have printed key as well as counts of key. So how to iterate inside the loop with respect to the dictionary? Use for loop, as you're already aware of for loop, how it works, and use the iterative variable as a key. Okay, again the keys are in not particular order. This you can see here, though it has been appearing as Chuck, Annie and Jan, orderly manner you are getting because it is a small amount of data of items in terms of key value pairs. So it is become orderly, but most of the times it will be unordered. Okay, so now for example, if we want to find all the entries in a dictionary with a value above 10, understand, with a value about 10, if I want to fetch the values, the key value pairs about 10, so I have the second and third elements, so I can use an if condition here. I can use if condition if counts of key greater than 0, sorry, greater than 10. If counts of key greater than 10, print key values. Now it would restrict counts of key. Okay, now it would restrict or suppress the items which are having the values lesser than 10. That is Chuck colon 1 is of value less than 10. So it was not published or it was not printed. So I can use this for loop along with the condition loop. You can also have the composite conditions here. You can print keys, you can use everything inside one line. I have posted that on your WhatsApp group. You might have seen. Have you come across, guys, that particular statement on your WhatsApp group? Hello?
Sir, your voice is breaking.
I had sent an image on your WhatsApp group regarding using the dictionary with comprehension.
Yes, sir. We saw that.
Okay. Yeah. Likewise, you can also use the same comprehensions here also. Okay, you can write it in one line, but I am not going to do it here in the class. Why? Because this is a very simple statement which you can understand using the conditions to fetch the particular values from the dictionary using if condition. This can be composed, this can be made in one line, that I'll teach you later on. Let us just stick to the syllabus first, then let's try to understand the different aspects of the dictionary later on. Okay, so now if you want to print the keys in alphabetical order, understand, if you want to print the keys in alphabetical order, so what will you do? Can anybody tell what is the solution if I want to print the keys or the key value pair in alphabetical order with respect to the same example? So alphabetical order, I should get Annie, then comes Chuck, then comes Jan, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if I want to print it in alphabetical order, so what I need to do? Let me take the same dictionary and then I say I will create a list of the keys first. Okay, let me call this as LST is equal to list of counts dot keys. Hope you understand this. List of counts dot keys. So what is this LST now? LST will create the list of these keys from the dictionary counts. So if I say print LST, you could see it is the list of keys. Now, if you have list of keys, what you can do? If you have list of keys, can I sort it? Can I sort it like lst.sort using
Yes, sir.
sort method? Okay. So now I say lst.sort, and again you see what happened to the list. You see, this is a first list before sorting, list of keys, and this is the list after sorting with respect to the keys. So now can I print, once I know the sorted list of keys, can I use for loop? Correct? Can I use for loop? Use the same for key in list now. Understand, for key in list, what I need to do, print key comma, print key comma, what I need to say, counts of key. Is it okay? Guys, understand? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
So key is referring to this key value now. So this key is referring to this value, this list, this element. Counts of key. Counts of key is nothing but counts of Annie. Counts of Annie is nothing but 42. Okay. If I run this program, you could see this was the earlier list, and now this is the new elements I have printed in alphabetical order. So this is a program which print the keys in alphabetical order, and also you can use it as an extension to print the key value pairs in alphabetical order. So it's a very simple program, guys. I repeat, the first thing is I created the list of keys. I extracted the keys from the dictionary using counts.keys method, and I've loaded it to a list. I created a list and I sorted that list. And then I have considered the sorted list elements to print the key value pairs in alphabetical order. It's a very simple program, right? So now let us see advanced text parsing. Here you need to be little careful. Why? Because guys, is Romeo full dot text visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in this Romeo full dot text, so in the previous text example, we made the file as simple as possible. So there were no punctuations, there were no full stops, there were no commas, exclamatory mark, and other characters. The actual text, but the actual text will have lot of punctuations, and most of the times, see here, most of the times you have capital letters also. You have comma, but comma is not same as small letter but. Understand, guys? This but is not same as capital but along with comma. And here soft, this soft is not same as soft. Correct? I hope you are understanding the complexity in real time text. So in these situations, what I need to do? Okay, what I need to do? So in these situations, I have to remove. You have to remove all punctuations, and you have to make sure that all the uppercase characters or the strings has to be converted to the lowercase strings. You call it as normalcy, right? You're trying to pre-process the data in such a way that you have plain text in lowercase without any exclamatory or without any punctuations and special symbols, in order to extract or in order to count the number of words in a given text file fairly. correct? Since the Python split function looks fairly good, which for spaces, and it treats for word as token separated by spaces. But in real time, we do have punctuation, so that has to be eliminated first. So this problem can be solved by using the string methods called lower dot punctuation. Okay, lower dot punctuation. I can solve this problem using the methods, the string methods. Let me go to the classwork. Guys, classwork is visible.
Yes, sir.
Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I can solve these methods using the string methods which we have studied in our previous module. I can use this string methods like lower, punctuation, and translate. So the translate is the most used method in documentation for translate. I have the constructor to translate here. What is constructor, or what is syntax? You could say it, call it as a syntax. The general term is a syntax, but in Python I call this as constructor. So this is a constructor. Guys, understand? Line dot translate is a method. Dot translate is a method which is applied on a line of a text, which make the strings, which makes the translation. Here this str dot make translation is again another method inside this module. So from string to string and delete string. So these are the general variables. So these are the general variables or objects, you can say. So from string to string, I'll tell you what is that. Replace the characters in from string. It replaces the characters in from string with the characters in the same position in to string. So this is from, this is to string, and replace it. Okay, and along with that, it delete all the characters which is mentioned in delete string. Understand? I repeat. Okay, let me take an example and see. Let me first try to see what is that string punctuation. I will import string and I say string punctuation because I'm trying to remove this. Punctuations, right? So I will use this string punctuation. So I'll just see like what are the different string punctuations. This is str dot punctuation. What happened? PUNCTUA, TION, correct? Looks proper. So I have imported string and string dot punctuation. So any error here, guys? So it should be only string dot punctuation. There's no input argument. So these are the punctuations which are inbuilt, which would be understood by your Python program or Python libraries. So just what I'll do, first let me take a string. Let me take a line. The first thing is take a line. I call this as a line is equal to. So this is a line. This is the, in fact, this is the first line. And then I will say line is equal to line dot translate. Here, this is how I will use line is equal to line dot translate line dot make trans. This is nothing but a from string, since it is applied directly on a line, so it has been made empty. That means it's a void function. And then string punctuation. So what is the string punctuation? This is as good as delete string. So what is delete string? Delete all the characters with respect to the string punctuation. What are the string punctuation characters? These many characters are there inside your string punctuation. Include special symbol along with the other characters. So this will be deleted from string, and it will be, the to string is nothing but a replacement of the existing. See here, in this situation, this will be deleted, this will be deleted, and yeah, this question mark will be deleted. So these are the three characters, three punctuations which should be deleted. And if I say line, now you can see those deleted punctuations has been completely removed. So if you add more punctuations, no problem, again it will be deleted. Could you see? I hope you're following this. This is from string. This is made an empty string. Why? Because I am directly applying it on a line. So you know to enter from string or to string separately. It will be a void. And string punctuation, this is nothing but you are going to what kind of characters that you are going to remove. So I have already declared what you mean by string punctuation. So these many characters will be removed from your particular string. So now after this, if I use line is equal to line dot lower, line is equal to line dot lower. Can you now just understand? So all the capital letters inside this line has been converted into, or uppercase has been converted into lowercase. So if I use these two conditions, remaining all the what do you say, like the program remains same, all the expressions, equations, statements remain same here. The only thing is I need to do some kind of pre-processing here at this particular stage. Okay, so what is the pre-processing stage? Let me rewrite the program. Okay, I'll rewrite the program. I just copy paste the same program here which is written in my previous cell. I'll just try to reduce the size of the window. Let me just put this up. Okay, fine. So I just need to do some kind of pre-processing here. So what is that pre-processing? I need to add two lines. That's it. I need to add two lines along with the strip function. So for line in fnd, line is equal to line dot r strip. So what is line dot r strip? It will remove all the unwanted spaces. That's it. And I will add these two lines. I'll add these two lines. Why? Because I am trying to remove all the punctuations. So this will remove all. Guys, you need to understand this constructor. You have to memorize this constructor. And here in this situation, so here it will try to convert the uppercase characters into lowercase. Otherwise, those two words are treated differently. Uppercase and lowercase characters are treated differently. So this is converted uppercase to lowercase, right? And then remaining all same. I'll run this program. So now I'll enter Romeo full dot text, correct? Romeo full dot text. As you can see here in my previous, this is the Romeo hyphen full dot text file, which consists of all the punctuations and uppercase characters. So, and then make an enter. Yeah, this program is running fine because I had, see here, you can understand here, I had soft here. And where is another soft? Do we have soft two times it is appearing? Yes, we have two different types of characters. Class. Okay, I have a soft here. Where is another soft? I'm not able to see. Okay, yeah, here at the end of this line. So here with punctuation, without punctuation has been considered as the same characters. I have removed this punctuation from this soft and I have incremented the value. Suppose if I don't use these punctuations, suppose if I don't use this, so what happens? Just run the same program, hyphen full dot text, and just check. Guys, see, soft with punctuation and soft without punctuation are treated as two different words. But technically, or but the meaning of soft with or without the expression or the behavior or what do you say, without their triads, right? The meaning of the word is same. Correct. So that is why you have to use this line is equal to line dot translate and make translation from to string and remove the characters of with respect to string punctuation. Now you can see I will give the same. Okay. So now it has been reduced. So likewise, this is called as an advanced text parsing. So this is advanced text parsing. 1 second, guys. Okay. So after this, so this is all about your dictionaries. Those are the few things which were left out from the dictionary. So now I'll just try to introduce tuples in this class. So this is all about dictionary. Now in this class, I'll just try to introduce another set of data structure or data type. It's called as tuples. Guys, is the screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So okay, good. So we had come across list. So this is one data type. So we had come across dictionary. Okay, so in the list, so the elements were something like this: 1, comma 2, comma 3, comma 4, comma 5, and also you can have a string. Also, you can have a floating point value. So this is an example of a list. Whereas the dictionary, this is how the dictionary was created. So it was a key value pair. So it was a key value pair separated by a comma. Okay, it was separated by a comma. So this is another type of data structure. Likewise. So now we are trying to deal with tuple. So what do you mean by a tuple? Tuple is a sequence of values, much like a list. Understand? Tuples are just like a list. So this is as good as list, I could say. So tuple is as good as list. As I'll ask you a simple question. Can you modify the elements of a list?
Yes, sir.
No. Okay. So can I say lists are mutable?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
But the only difference between list and tuple are tuples are immutable. That is the only difference. So the structure would be different. So the structure would be different. So what is that structure? Structure of a tuple is something like this. T is equal to common bracket. See here it was in for list it was a square bracket. For dictionary it was a curly braces, and for T, that is tuple, it is a common bracket with an element separated by a comma. Correct? So no. Now you ask, what is the type of this data? So the type of data is tuple. If I just replace it by a square bracket, so this would surprising to see it is a list. So now if I say T, I can just try to replace this element of list. T of 0 is equal to the new character, say N, and then say T. You could say the list, the element of the list with respect to the 0th index is replaced by N, correct? Similarly, if I say T of, so if I say it as a tuple and rest of the things remain same, now you could see the tuple object does not support item assignment. That means these tuples are immutable. Understand, guys? So just by replacing this by common braces, so it will make it untouchable. You cannot replace the elements of the tuple. But still, how to fetch the elements or how to create a tuple with a single element? So I can create a tuple with a single element. I'll just leave this as it is because for you people, if I share this classwork, you should be able to understand what is this type. And if I want to create a tuple with a single element, I can do it. T1 is equal to, so inside a common bracket with a followed by a comma, correct? So now what is T? What is T1? T1 is a tuple. You could see type of T1. Type of T1, again, it is a tuple. So without comma, Python creates A as an expression. See here, if I say, if I don't use comma here, so it would be a simple string. Understand, guys? So it would be a simple string. Only if you place comma, then only it will be a tuple. Try both, with and without comma. Try both, right? So it is a tuple and this is a string. Be careful. Only the comma signifies it is a tuple element. So most of the times you will ask a question, sir, why do you want to create a tuple? So the answer is very simple. Sometimes, in most of the situation, I don't want to allow user to modify the username or a password. A password can be modified, but I don't want the user to modify his username. Correct? In such situations, I would like to create a tuple of a character or tuple of a string which are unmodified along with some values. So I could say a tuple would be a key in a dictionary with a multiple assignments or with a multiple variables. I think in the last class Priyanka had asked a simple question, sir, can we have two keys? Correct? Can we have two keys instead of one key in dictionary? Yeah, we can create a composite of keys, and that flexibility can be given using or introducing tuples. You can introduce tuples to create composite keys, correct? So in another way, I can also create an empty tuple using the keyword built-in function called t is equal to tuple. Correct? T is equal to tuple. And just to say print t, so it is an empty tuple, and just to say type of t, it's a tuple. Correct? Now, if the argument, see here, I don't have any input argument here inside the tuple. Suppose if I have a string, say input s is equal to, I have a string called Lubins. So this is just an example. Now if I say p is equal to tuple of s, I'm just trying to pass an input argument to this tuple keyword or tuple function. Then say print t. So you'd be surprised to see It is a tuple of characters. See here, this is a how I will identify it as a tuple, because I have it as a common brackets, curve brackets. Okay, and say what is the type of T. If I want to see what is the type, and it's a tuple. So what does it happen? So if I'm giving a string as an input argument to a tuple function, it would convert all the characters as an elements of the tuple which cannot be replaced. Does it hold the same property of strings are immutable? Guys, does it hold the same properties of strings are immutable with respect to the tuples?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So this is all about basics of tuple. In the next class, we shall see some more properties of tuples, and immediately we shall try to close this module by performing tuples on dictionary along with the tuples. Okay, trying to migrate from dictionary to tuple, tuple to dictionary, and we will include list, dictionary, and tuples all three together and try to wind up this module. Okay, so this is all about today's class, and thank you for attending this session. And yeah, stay safe, stay home, take care, guys.